congratulations on your latest album. Good luck, everybody. That's super exciting in the beginning of your tour. So this latest album, I think, also considering Knife Man is probably one of your most political. Can you tell me more about that? Has it been a long time coming?
It's been since 2016 that I started feeling like it would be, well, since my brain started focusing on politics when I didn't want it to when it came to songwriting. Yeah, it would kind of like, it would invade my subconscious in a way that that made it impossible to not write about politics. So yeah, I just eventually gave into that, and yeah, that's where songs like Psychic Warfare came from, and Normalization Blues, No Justice, No Peace, No Hope, those ones.
Yeah.
There are a couple songs on the record that aren't political. That I mean, in the same way that Knife Man has Love in Your Heart or something. You know, there's a song about Animal Company called Maggie.
I like that one. Yeah, it's a bit
Thanks.
softer.
Yeah, I like that one, and I really like Your Voice As I Remember It, and I think those are gonna be two songs that outlast the album, and they'll probably be in our repertoire for a long time. Hopefully long after. I don't want to have to play Normalization Blues for very long.
Yeah.
that would suck.
Yeah. So on this album, your previous albums are very like punkish and like very thrashing, and I feel like you kind of toned it down. On this one, it was a lot softer than the rest, but the lyrics are just as visceral and very scathing.
Thank you.
Like, yeah, in a good way. Like in Body Terror song, just yelling, "I'm so sorry you have to have a body." I love that. But where was that artistic choice from a less like harsher instrumental sound?
It was kind of as a response from where to go from our last album, The Bible 2, which I feel like was our best attempt at being a rock band. And after that, it would have been, I think it would have been a waste of time for us to try to make a better rock record than that. At least you know, immediately following it. Mm-hmm. So we decided to go in the opposite direction and try to make something really pretty, something that was more inspired by the 1970s folk rock music that Ben and I are really big fans of. Like, I don't know, the Kinks or the Byrds, or Phil Oakes a little bit, even though he was more of a straight folk singer. Jackson Browne actually inspired the, not only a lot of the sound of the record, but also the layout, the insert, on the vinyl insert sleeve, we kind of ripped off like one of the borders from the inside of Jackson Browne's The Pretender album.
That's cool.
Yeah, we took some of the aesthetic as well.
Yeah. So you took some of those folk rock influences and decided to focus on your lyrics more, or?
I mean, I always focus on the lyrics as much as I can because that's my job in the band. Yeah. That and like the songs. Yeah. So, but it was, it didn't make sense to make a rock record. Also, like we live in a bunch of different places, you know, Phoenix, Tucson, and Oakland, and we had some time constraints weighing on us to finish a record, and so we didn't want to do it as a studio project. Okay. More of like a I don't know, I guess kind of like the Postal Service did it, where we had a bunch of our collaborators kind of send in tracks after we would like instruct them on what we wanted. Mm-hmm. Worked out really well. That's kind of how we used to do it, like for Knife Man and the albums that came before that one.
Okay, so tell me more about that. You didn't record it in the studio?
Oh, we recorded it in our practice space.
Okay.
And then did a couple things in some various studios and had some other people track. But then Thor Harris here from Austin, Texas, sent in a couple tracks that he recorded at his house. Like he did a lot of really wonderful percussion and hammered percussion, melodic instruments like tubular bells and marimba, and xylophone. Yeah.
So you got the diverse new sounds in there.
Yeah, and we didn't even, no one had to leave their home.
Yeah. Okay. I'm really interested in your songwriting process. Your lyrics have outstanded in every single album. Been just so interesting.
Thanks.
Do you have a certain like routine or like what calls you to the pen?
It kind of changes with every song. It's a little bit different. and sometimes the songs just come like really, really quickly, like they kind of write themselves, and that's the best because I don't have to do any work. But with the Bible too, I had a thing called the morning pages that I would do. It's based on a book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, where the goal of it's a morning practice. You write 3 pages and fill 3 pages of lined notebook paper with kind of whatever. And the idea is that it tricks your like kind of internal censor, or as Jay Smooth puts it, the little hater inside your head, and kind of lulls that guy to sleep so that you don't really worry about writing bad stuff. You just worry about creating. With this record, with Good Luck Everybody, the lyrics were intentionally unsubtle, and meant to be very on the nose, in a way to kind of mimic modern discourse.
Yeah, tweeting presidents.
Yeah. All caps, misspellings, and 140 characters or less. That's why it's like very brief, repetitive at times, and yeah, just completely like a bop you on the nose, like very direct.
So what you mentioned about writing 3 pages every day, in a previous interview that I saw, you said that you tried to write pages of gibberish every day. Is that what you're referring to?
Exactly.
So
yeah,
cool.
just kind of grievances that you would have with people in your life, or song ideas. Sure, why not? But it doesn't have to be song ideas. And if those song ideas are good, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. So in terms of where you're going from here, where do you see the trajectory of the album?
The trajectory of the album?
Yeah, like where do you see it going?
We are currently in uncharted territory because we released the album ourselves, and found out today that it's hit a bunch of Billboard charts.
Congratulations!
Thank you very much. It's number 2 on alternative albums and number 2 on folk Americana albums, which is cool that it's both of those. Yeah. And then, so that's the highest. I think that's the highest placement we've ever had as a band. And so I'm not really sure where the album is going to go, from here. I do know that we have a lot of touring, and for this, we're gonna try to register a lot of people to vote at these shows.
That's awesome. Okay, so for a final question, how do you want this album to shape how your listeners see the world?
Ooh, that's a very good question. And yeah, so to make it explicit, I think I'd like this album and all of our music to try to expand a person's sense of empathy, to try to imagine what life would be like in someone else's shoes, or with someone else's circumstances other than their own. Yeah, the music, I would really like for it to build empathy and problem solving among people.
That's interesting. Great. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time for meeting us.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
I wish you the best on the rest of your tour. You have a long ways to go.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Okay, awesome.
Cool.
Sweet.
Right on, it worked.
Yay.
That's a great interview. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.